I'm about to get on an Airbus A350 from Doha to London with Qatar Airways. I'm going to fly business QSuite, so I'm going to give you a full review and tell you whether you should be booking business class with Qatar, whether you should choose another airline for it, or whether you should just stick to economy. The flight's boarding, so let's get going. All right, guys, now we're up in the air. I should probably show you the seat. QSuite. Unfortunately, I do have the middle seat, but nevertheless, I think you're going to like it. This is it, and the first thing you notice is space. There is a lot of space here, especially compared to the one I was on earlier, the standard business class. The screen is also much, much bigger. Well, everything I think is much, much bigger here. You have the tray table in front of you that folds out almost perfectly into the space. Big tray table here, which is very handy. You have your side table, and on here, I mean, again, a lot of space on there too to put your stuff. All of your seat configurations here, and there are more seat configurations here than I've seen on any other plane. You have your ports, you have a plug for charging, you have a USB port for charging your devices. There's another USB port on the screen over here and an HDMI cable port, I think, as well. Little bit of space underneath for storage. Under here, you have where your feet go. Plenty of space down there, if I can shine the light on it. Plenty of space down there. For me, for filming, the one annoyance about the middle seat is the lack of light. I don't have a window for the light, but I booked late and there weren't any window seats available. But to be honest, from a comfort perspective, I don't really think it makes a difference. They're the same size, it's just whether you want to sit by the window or not. Storage space-wise, you have, of course, the overhead lockers. You also have a side compartment, and this is where I've got my water in there. You have a little pouch for water, and then I put my shoes in there as well, but obviously you can store whatever you want in there. And this is where you get your headphones, noise cancellation headphones, obviously premium headphones when you're traveling in business. You have side light, coat hanger. There's also a light up above that turns on and off. Now, comfort. These seats are comfortable, I must admit, very comfortable. You get one big pillow for your back. You get another head pillow, which is great. And then, of course, you get your blanket. You also get amenities bag. Now, this is the male one. They also gave me the female one, just so I can show you the difference. I'll show you what's inside that in a second. And then you get the pajamas, the comfort bag, and I presume there are pajamas in there, but it's a daytime flight, so we won't be using those. Now, QSuite versus non-QSuite. I'm going to give you my thoughts a bit later once I've kind of been in it and got used to it. You've only just taken off. But the one thing I've noticed with QSuite versus normal business class with Qatar, or normal business class on any plane, is this is all about privacy. Let me show you. Now, not only does the door shut to give you privacy, but the screens give you privacy as well. If you're in a window seat, that's probably the most private you can have because you're in your own little shell. You're not really surrounded by other people. But I'm in the middle where you can either have a twin seat or a quad seat. So if you're in a group, that would be the place to come because these screens go up and down and you can interact and chat. But when you get bored of them, those screens go up. Or if you don't know them, the screens go up. So you have pure privacy. And it is like you're in your it reminds me of a little office compartment, you know, when you see on those sitcoms, maybe American sitcoms, each person has their own cubicle. Reminds me a little bit of that, but it is very private. The only thing I would say is that I quite like to see down the cabin and get the feeling of the roomy cabin, because it is a roomy cabin, but when everything is shut up, you don't really get that. You kind of feel like you are in your little shell. And if you are claustrophobic, maybe that's something to bear in mind. And that's something that is different from the standard business class. Well, I'm going to chill a little bit, enjoy my glass of champagne. I mean, you can't fly business without having a glass of champagne and a few crisps to go with it. And I'll pick up with you guys after a bit of entertainment and when the first food comes, and we'll see what the food is like in Qatar business class. High expectations. Let's see if it lives up to it. Just before I show you the food, let me tell you about Saily and the amazing offer I have for you guys. Whether you want to order a taxi when you land, message your family that you are safe, find the best restaurants nearby, or simply need data to upload your favorite snaps to social media, you're going to want to get yourself a Saily eSIM. An eSIM works just the same as a normal SIM card, but with an eSIM, you don't actually need a physical SIM card, making it far easier to set up and use. Not only are they fantastic value, you can buy a Saily eSIM from their app and choose exactly how much data you want. And with over 200 destinations to choose from, you'll never be left fumbling around and trying to find dodgy public Wi-Fi. Download the Saily app. And don't forget to use the code JoeyP at checkout to get 15% off your first eSIM. And on that note, let's get back to the flight and let's review the food. Let's eat. Welcome back. Food has arrived. Starter has arrived of the first service. It is a la carte. You can eat when you want. To be honest, I couldn't decide between the caviar and the salmon as a starter and the lobster. Tough choice here in business class, but I've gone with the caviar because I love caviar. And you have a big bowl of black caviar. We've got some salmon, some smoked salmon, and some little toasts to go with it. It looks delightful. I mean, you can't really get a better starter than that on a plane with a glass of champagne, as I said. Also gave me this little fake candle to go with it, so it feels like I've got my own little restaurant here in my QSuite. It's a little bit surreal looking forwards at the camera of the plane flying over the land and sitting here eating this, talking to you guys and showing you this. It is a little bit strange, I must admit, but I do love the cameras. I love seeing where we're going and where we're flying over. If you can't have a window seat, the next best thing is the entertainment system with the cameras. That is a perfect match. Perfect match. What a pleasure. Cheers, guys. Right, we're gonna have caviar. I have to show you my favorite way to eat it. I've asked for one of the sourdough rolls. Look how good that looks, nice and crispy. Warm still even, look at that. That looks fantastic. My favorite way to have caviar is not the traditional way that we just saw with the blinis, the sour cream, and the egg, is actually just to have bread and butter. And I recommend if you not have caviar ever and you're trying it for the first time, get yourself some good bread, get yourself some good butter, and of course, get yourself some good black caviar and try it like that. I promise you, it is to die for. So I'm just gonna slather a lot of butter. You have to have a lot of butter and then a generous amount of caviar on top. Look at that. Look at that. That cannot be beaten. Whatever you try, it will not be that. This is it. It's not going to get better. If you're listening, Qatar, if you serve this dish, apparently it's a new dish, forget the blinis, forget the sour cream, forget the egg, bread and butter. Next up, main course has arrived, and I was torn again between grilled Angus beef tenderloin with fenugreek and herbed mashed potatoes and pan-seared black cod fillet with lemon cream sauce. Which would you choose? I chose the Angus tenderloin. Looks pretty good, I must admit. Came with the sauce that I poured over the top of it. Switched to red wine this time. The best seller, apparently. It is Bordeaux Grand Cru Pouliac 2017. We should probably try this first, shouldn't we? Whoa, it smells good. That is very nice. I think it's going to go very well with this. So let's cut into that beef. Oh, it's like soft. I didn't expect that. I think if it was me, obviously I'd be cooking it medium rare. I'd ask for it medium rare, but we're on a plane. I guess health and safety, they can't take any risks. So it's cooked well done. Maybe that's something to consider if you're ordering it, but let's just try it. Let's just try the meat. interesting. It's very tasty. It's very soft, it's very tender. Almost tastes like it's been slow cooked, but it's tender like. It's probably been sous vide, to be honest, and cooked for a long time. But it is very tasty, I must admit. Despite not being medium rare, as I would like it, and with those vegetables and those spices, that fenugreek, and those spices that come through, it is highly flavorful. I'm not gonna lie, it's no caviar, but it is pretty good, and especially with the wine, it's a great little main course. Actually, you know what? The food on the first flight was fantastic as well. I didn't film that one. I thought it would be too much to have a video. I wanted to stick to QSuite. I wanted to stick to the A350, just because I thought that would be the interesting part of the video. But the food was fantastic on that one too. I think these days, business class food, even in economy, to be honest, the food is good. But in business, the food is fantastic these days now. I don't think you can complain on most of the top airlines about it. Qatar is certainly hitting the mark on every dish, every meal that I've had so far on this trip. Finally, at the end of this fantastic meal, we have dessert. I skipped the cheese course, but that was going to be a little bit too greedy. And if I'm choosing between cheese and dessert, to be honest, I'm choosing dessert. I have salted caramel and almond cheesecake with vanilla ice cream and orange. And of course, a little bit of a dessert wine as well. I've double parked on my wine, but I thought, why not have dessert wine as well if it's on offer? It looks good. Fingers crossed it completes the meal in the same fashion that the other two dishes were, because they genuinely were great. So let's get into it. Ah, cuts through nicely. The vanilla ice cream is good and the cheesecake is good. To be honest, I don't think you need them both together. I would just have the cheesecake or the vanilla ice cream. I don't know really why they're paired together. But the cheesecake, and that's the main part of the dessert, the cheesecake is very nice. With the dessert wine, even better. Oh, that is good. The wine, all of the wine has been fantastic, including the champagne. If you don't like wine, of course you have other alcohol as well. You have beer, you have cocktails, you have spirits like gin and whiskey and rum and whatever you want. If you don't drink, of course, you have mocktails and fruit juices and soft drinks and things like that. So you're not missing out. And then the other thing to note is, of course, there's tea and coffee and all sorts of things like that. And if you're vegetarian, there's vegetarian options. If you're gluten-free or whatever else, you just let them know ahead of time and they accommodate you. So whatever you are, whatever you have, whatever you need, depending on when you tell them, you can be accommodated. So there's nothing to worry about there. And obviously that goes into every cabin. Overall, this meal has been great. I would give it 9 out of 10 overall for these dishes, for it being plain food, for it being business class. Yeah, happy boy. Let me show you around the cabin just a little bit. This is something I didn't expect to be filming in the bathroom. Normally you get arrested for this, but I want to show you the bathroom on the plane in business class. You can see the toilet is freshly cleaned, and that wasn't just because I'm filming. Apparently it's new policy to put these toilet seat covers on. You have a full-length mirror. You have, I guess, for baby change, coat hanger, a window. This is pretty cool. You can see out there, which is pretty cool. Sink, nice hand soap, another mirror with a close-up mirror, just so you can get a good look at yourself, and then odorizer and moisturizer and little cups and tissues, and I think it's all right. It's pretty spacious, so can't complain at all. That's the bathroom for you guys. Now, as you can see, the cabin is pretty full of seats. Yes, privacy, lots of privacy, as I said, but a problem for me. The problem is that there isn't really anywhere to go and stretch your legs. Yes, you can go up and down the aisle, but there isn't anywhere to hang out. When I flew with Emirates on the A380, there was a bar at the back. That was top class. I really enjoyed that. On the classic business class, on the 787 that I just went on, There was a little area at the back where you could stand, where they left snacks, but you could stand there, you could have a chat with the staff or your friends or whatever. You could just stretch your legs and walk around. In this business class, whilst you have the space in the seat, which is a very good thing, I really like this. I like this little area next to me where I can put my stuff and chill out. What you don't have is somewhere to stretch out or hang out or whatever else. It is very personal, let's say. And for some, that might be a good thing. For me, I think I prefer it having somewhere where I can go and hang out, because it's 7 hours. I don't want to be sat here the whole time. And yes, I can stretch my legs out in here. Yes, I can walk up and down the aisle. But for 7 hours, especially in the middle seat, it's nice to go somewhere where there's a window and you can glance out. I don't want to go to the bathroom every time. So that would be weird. But it's nice to have that. Unfortunately, this A350 QSuite doesn't have that. I've already told you that it's absolutely massive, which it is, but there's a few things on here that I want to show you. So you have your trip where you can find your flight map, your connections, and then some information about your destination. I like looking at the flight map just so you can see where you're going, how far you are, your route, the altitude. You get all of the information, of course. This is pretty generic, right? You get this. On most planes, in every class, those things are good to see. But the other thing to say is that you have live TV. How cool is that? You can scan the QR code and watch live sports with Starlink. So if anything is on, you get to watch the live sport. I haven't watched it on this one, there's nothing on it this time, but I have watched Formula One before. That was pretty cool. Entertainment, the obvious. There are a lot of movies and TV shows on offer. New things, classic things, whatever really you're looking for, you're going to find it, you know that. It's a fantastic entertainment system. You also have things for the kids, of course. And then you also have your internet. This plane has Starlink Wi-Fi, which is very, very cool. And it is rapid. Let me tell you, this Wi-Fi is so fast. It's faster than my Wi-Fi at home, which is mental. You can also pair a device. Another cool thing, you can connect your devices to this and not just use the stuff that comes with it. You can use your own electronics, which is pretty cool. And then, as I said before, one of my favorite things to do is sit here with the cameras watching the plane. You have the rear view camera that shows the whole plane. And if you're in the middle and you're a little bit scared of turbulence and it's bumping around a bit and you see this view and everything looks fine, you calm down. So yeah, definitely recommend that. And on that note, I'm going to get back to my entertainment and I'll catch up with you guys and I'll give you some of my thoughts on this flight. Now this is cool. This is a live stream of my flight landing with me on board, streaming it and recording it from on board the aircraft. Pretty cool, right? I was using Starlink just to show you guys how good it is. Anyway, something unique, but time to give you my verdict. Economy to business class. Well, this one's obvious. If you can afford it or you want to treat yourself, basically if you can get yourself in the business cabin in any way, do it, because it's 100% worth it over economy, especially on those long haul flights. I cannot tell you how much easier it makes those long haul flights. It's going to be very difficult going back to economy because this is not the norm for me. So I'm not looking forward to that. The second thing is QSuite versus normal business class. Now this one's a bit more nuanced for me. QSuite is fantastic. Have to admit that. There is so much space within the seat itself. For me, it feels like what first class would probably be like on many airlines, but this is business class and it is fantastic, that's for sure. However, I really enjoyed the normal business class. It felt very spacious, it felt very open, and it was just a really great experience. For me, the QSuite felt a little bit claustrophobic. I felt like I was just in my pod and I wasn't really in the business class cabin. Now, if you like the privacy and that's very important to you, then QSuite is a great product. But for me, I wouldn't be too upset if I didn't get the QSuite and I got the normal cabin itself. Now, obviously, Emirates or business class, the other thing I said I would tell you about. I've flown on both now in business class. you can flip a coin. I know Qatar wins world's best business class year after year, and it is an amazing product. But on the A380 with Emirates, business class is also fantastic. So book what works for you in terms of price, in terms of times, in terms of airports, and in terms of layovers. I don't think you're going to go wrong on either of them. And then the last thing to say is what I learned was the quality of the experience very much depends, not depends, that's too strong, but it is impacted by the quality of the service. On the first flight, they were so friendly, they were fun, they were interacting with me filming and just having chats, and it was a very nice experience. On the second flight, they were a bit more robotic. They were good, they were pleasant, they did exactly what they needed to do, but that was it. And it did make a difference to how I enjoyed the flight. I have to admit that. But overall, fantastic experience. I hope it helped you make some decisions, inspired you to book business class with Qatar. It's not sponsored, I wish it was. Or maybe it just made you a bit more excited about your trip. So subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to watch my video of Emirates business class, you can find it right here.